So this is part 2 of me sharing the Book of Thanksgiving, stories, poems, recipes, sharing one of America's greatest holidays. Your authors are Jessica Faust and Jacky Sach. We are going to chapter 6, which is made up of family fun and tradition of thanks. How wonderful it would be if we could help our children and grandchildren to learn Thanksgiving at an early age. Thanksgiving opens the doors. It changes a child's personality, a child's resentful, negative, or thankful children want to give. They radiate happiness. They draw people. Sir John Templeton. Thanksgiving is a holiday when most of the traditions center on what you will be eating. However, for many people, it is one time of year when the entire family is able to gather together. If that's the case, it might be a good time to think of some special traditions for your family. You can start or create Thanksgiving. Giving thanks. Over the blessing has been said, and sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Once the blessing has been said, and everyone has food on their plate, there is no better way to share Thanksgiving than each person to take a turn expressing all those things they are thankful for. Remember, the Pilgrims first celebrated Thanksgiving as a way to give thanks to God for the bountiful harvest they were blessed with that year. Continue this tradition by going around the table and asking everyone to share in their own bountiful harvest. This is a tradition that even the littlest child can share in. Whether you are thankful for your health, your family, your new job, or that it's not raining, give thanks in a delightful way for everyone to realize their blessings. As a host or hostess, you might want to start that way. Everyone will have to understand of the game. Start by saying, I'm thankful for, and name one or two things that you are truly thankful for. An alphabet of thanks. For a variation on the idea of giving thanks, why not make it easier by asking everyone to give thanks from A to Z? Start with the eldest guest or the person seated at the head of the table. This person begins by saying they are thankful for something that starts with the letter A. The next person begins with the letter B, and the next C, and so on. For a real brain teaser, you can require each person to repeat what everyone else said. For instance, I'm thankful for eggplant, Aunt Becky is thankful for dogs, Grandma Lila is thankful for chocolate, Dad is thankful for bread, and Christopher is thankful for apple pie. Being glad. Now, in the book of Pollyanna by Eleanor H. Porter, and later the movie star Haley Mills, Pollyanna is a relentlessly optimistic little orphan who was forced to live with her dour and unhappy aunt. If anyone had mastered over being glad, it was Pollyanna. One Christmas, Pollyanna breaks both her legs and says, I'm so glad it happened. For you to lose your legs, you really have to love them. And that's where being glad comes in. To play being glad, think of something really awful that happened to you this past year, and then tell everyone at the Thanksgiving why you're grateful for it. For example, you might start the game by saying, I'm so grateful that our electricity went out. If it hadn't happened, I wouldn't have learned to appreciate all the great things I can do without TV and radio. The talking fork. This old storytelling game is a variation of, quote-unquote, the talking stick. It's an ancient human storytelling tradition. In Homer Iliad's warrior kings would pass the ribbon staff around the room. The holder of the staff was one whose turn it was to speak. Likewise, Native Americans still pass the talking stick from storyteller to storyteller. In this game, we will use a fork instead of a stick. Since this is Thanksgiving and the holiday of eating, the fork is the most appropriate symbol. Choose a large serving fork for a dramatic effect and tie a pretty bow on the ribbon around it. Start the game by saying this fork, although it appears ordinary, gives this user storyteller power. While you hold this fork, memories of Thanksgiving past will flow through you. While you hold this fork, everyone will listen. Before we all leave, I want to hear some good, fun, magical family stories. Since I hold the talking fork, I will go first. This is an especially terrific game for families who are scattered all throughout the country and aren't able to get together much. The talking fork allows everyone a little turn, a little bit of family history. Encourage mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandparents to share their stories from their childhood or about someone special who's no longer with you. Regale the family with tales of quirks, funny sayings, or adventures of your own beloved ancestors, or you will tell stories about your children and how they behaved as temperous toddlers, and origins of their pet names, or maybe what happened the day they were born. Okay, recording the fork. If you have a video camera or a tape recorder, or nowadays cell phone, the talking fork is perfect time to turn on that equipment. These are stories and moments that will last forever, and you'll appreciate them having them on tape in years to come. Sharing the thanks. After reading all about the Pilgrims and they had to endure in those first years in America, and then sharing all the wonderful things you and your family have to be thankful for, it is only fair that you feel compelled to share your wealth. While volunteering during the holidays, and especially during Thanksgiving, is common, there are still a surprising number of people and organizations that need help. Whether you decide to spend the day at a soup kitchen or helping in your church, volunteering on Thanksgiving should be something the entire family does together. If you are volunteering, ask organizers if there is something special they would like the younger children to do. If not, plan an activity that makes your young children feel needed. Have them decorate the hall or help clear dishes. If you plan on putting together a Thanksgiving basket, include your children in putting together the items and even choosing some of the food clothes you donate. Whatever you decide, there are many people who are organizations who appreciate any help that they can get. Here are just a few suggestions for getting the entire family involved. If none of these interest you, contact your church or a local community group to see where you can assist. You can call a local church or soup kitchen and volunteer to work on Thanksgiving Day. Many places have jobs for children. Contact a nursing home or senior center to see if any seniors would like to spend the day with your family. Invite a family from a battered woman's shelter or homeless shelter to share in your meal. Ask all your guests to bring old clothes or cans of food that you can donate to a homeless shelter or church. Prepare a Thanksgiving Day basket with a fully cooked meal consisting of a turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. Give the basket to a social service agency or civic group who can donate it or deliver it to a family that would otherwise have nothing to eat. Contact a local church or synagogue to find out if they know of any families in need. Either put together a Thanksgiving Day basket or buy a gift certificate for your supermarket to present to the family. Look into your local Meals on Wheels organization. Contact your church to find out if any families or individuals in your area are homebound. If so, volunteer to deliver a hot meal to them. Bring the kids and enjoy Thanksgiving dinner together. Thanksgiving touch football. Football and Thanksgiving go hand in hand, so why not move from the couch to playing the field? Not only is touch football a great way to burn off some those calories, but it will also get everyone out of the house, some fresh air, some family bonding. Whether you choose to play before or after dinner, we recommend before, avoid any upset stomachs. Follow the rules to ensure that everyone is on the same wavelength. Before beginning play, there are a number of things you will need to decide. First, choose the grassy area to serve as your playing field. Look for something not too close to the road in case your quarterback is a little wild. Set your playing field boundaries, and if you have cones, even better. The playing field should be rectangular with an end zone at each end. Anything outside that playing area is out of bounds. Divide players evenly into 2 teams. When playing the family members of all ages, try to make sure that the ages are evenly distributed between the teams rather than choosing captain, which often ends up hurting feelings when someone is chosen last. Why not plan teams ahead of time and just hand out the rosters? Give each team a few minutes to decide who will act as a quarterback, running back, receiver, and line players. You might want to mix things up a bit and have people take turns in various positions. You might be surprised to find out that your 6-year-old is actually the best quarterback or that grandma makes a terrific lineman. Discuss between the two teams whether you'll play one hand touch or two hand touch. This will determine whether or not you need to quote unquote tackle the ball carrier by tagging her with one or two hands. Two-handed touches need to be a little more difficult and make for a longer game. If you have a number of young children, you will probably want to play one-handed. Decide how the winner will be determined. The best ways are either limiting playing time or choosing a score. For example, the winning team could be the one with a higher score. At the end of each hour, the first team will score 21 points. Make a decision about whether you want to earn new first downs. In a traditional football, team will have 4 tries or downs to gain at least 10 yards. If they do so, they start over with a new if they do so, I lost my place. Start over with a new set of downs. Downs might be difficult for you to play. For one thing, you would need to determine and measure out the 10 yards would be. Another problem is that your field might not be big enough. The rules that follow describe a game without first downs. Now, at last but not least, in your game preparation, flip a coin to decide which team will begin playing offense. To begin the game, by placing the ball in the middle of the field. Each team should gather in separate huddles to discuss strategy. Once strategies have been decided, line up, and the teams are either on the side of the ball, parallel to the end zone, facing each other. The offensive player is the center of the line, quote unquote the center, passes the ball to the quarterback between the legs. If you don't have enough players, you can eliminate the center, allow the quarterback to handle the ball himself. While the offensive linemen block the defensive line, the quarterback hands off the ball to the running back or passes the ball to the receiver, who then runs with the ball toward the opponent on each end zone, which defensive players try to tag him or her. Other offensive players try to keep defenders from tagging the ball carrier by blocking him or her. Once the player has been tagged, play stops and the ball is dropped where the tag was made. This counts as a down and the play is repeated. Downs are also ended when a ball is dropped or a player runs out of bounds. Once 4 downs have been completed, possession of the ball is switched and the defense then becomes the offense. At the point where the ball is the last in play, the new offense gets 4 attempts to move the ball toward the opposite end zone. If a team scores, earning them 7 points, possession of the ball is also switched after a touchdown is made. Play begins by setting the ball in the middle of the field, lining the team up as before. Continue playing until the point of time limit is reached. The Thanksgiving family pool. If you are like most Americans, the minute dinner winds down, the dishes are done, and it's time to flip on the TV and enjoy a rousing game of football. Whether you settle in front of the TV game to cheer your favorite team or just catch a few winks, it seems there are a few households who miss the traditional Cowboys or Lions game. To make the game more exciting for fans and non-fans alike, why not set up a betting pool to include everyone in the competition? For those who don't like the idea of betting with money, here are a few options. Follow the betting idea, but in a more wholesome and legal manner. Allow the winner or top winners to opt out of cleanup if it hasn't already been done. Make up a grab bag of gifts and allow the people to choose according to their place in their pool. Ask everyone to pitch in money, and the winner, instead of keeping the cash, gets to donate it to his or her favorite charity. Instead of cash, ask everyone to bring a white elephant gift to bet with. The winner gets to take home all the gifts home. You might find people trying to lose this one. The betting game proposed below is perfect for everyone who don't have any knowledge of football to play to begin with. You just need to have a little luck. Begin your pool by drawing a 10 by 10 grid on a piece of paper. 10 squares on the top, 10 squares on the side. Across the top and down the left side, write the numbers 0 through 9, as shown in the figure. Above the numbers, along the top of the grid, Write the name of the one team playing, Dallas Cowboys, and write the team of the other along the side, Detroit Lions. Once your grid has been established, you can begin, quote-unquote, selling squares. Sell them for as little or as much as you want. 1 square for a penny, nickel, dime, or dollar. 10 squares for a gag gift, or feel free to give them out. Maybe each guest gets 5 squares, however you want to do it. It's best to try to have each square filled before the game starts. When a quote-unquote buyer takes a square, write the initials in the box. Winner is determined by matching the last digit of each team's final score on the grid. For example, a score of Dallas 13, Detroit 26 would mean finding the square where 3 on the vertical scale meets 6 on the horizontal. If Sally chose the space where those two numbers meet, then she's the winner. More family fun games. Charades. Charades is a terrific family fun game for kids of all ages. While it started out as a riddle game where you would guess a word, it eventually evolved into an acting game. We know today it can be played with 4 or more players, 2 or more teams. What you will need: a 3-minute timer, pen and paper to keep score to write down your charade words on, a neutral player to keep time and score. The objective of charades is for the player to act out a word or idea, the name of a person, movie, book, song, or TV show in the shortest amount of time possible. Pick some categories that will be fun to guess. Write the titles on small scraps of paper. Throw them into a hat for the other team to pull out. The first team pulls out a scrap of paper from the collection of titles the other team has created. A team member has to act out that title without speaking. Team member guess until the other answer in the puzzle is correct. When the answer is guessed, the timer stops, and when the player guesses part of the answer correctly, point to the player and nod enthusiastically. 1 point is scored per correct answer per team. Team with most points win. When the time is up, you are out, even if no points were scored. Here are some helpful hand movements for helping your teammates figure out what the heck you are doing. A movie: pretend you are cranking a projector. A TV show: make a box in the air in front of your body with your hands. A book: hold open your hands, palms up, as if you're cradling a book. Quote or phrase: make quotation marks in the air with your fingers. Song: pretend that you're singing, open your mouth wide. Length of word: make a little or a big sign using your hands. A little sign can be made by using your thumb and index finger. A big sign can be made by holding both hands apart as if measuring a fish. First word, second word, etc. Hold up your finger to show which word you are acting out. Numbers: show on your fingers. Sound: like pull on your earlobes. Number of syllables: hold up your fingers to show number and then tap fingers on the opposite outstretched arm. Okay, hide and seek. When memories of a good game of hide and seek can bring back the older folk, this family favorite can bring out the child in all of us. No materials are needed to play a good game of just a great imagination. The object of the game is for several people to hide and for one person to seek the hiders. To play this game, choose someone to be it. To pick that person, put everyone's name in a hat and pull one out. The person whose name is pulled out, it has to be the first it. Pick a home base. This is where the place from where which the it person will count and place to which all players want to return. Each player will hide, then try to get back to home base without being tagged by the it person. The first person that is tagged it is in the next game, but whoever it is should try to find all the players before the game is over. If you are it, close your eyes and count to 50, while everyone else finds a good place to hide. Count loudly so each person knows how much time is left. When you reach 50, yell out, "Ready or not, here I come," and let the game begin. Telephone. Okay, well, the more players you have for telephone, the better. But don't play with less than 6 players or it will not work out well. The object of the mess is to deliver the message correctly to all players in the game. You'd be surprised how different the original message is from the message the last player gets, and the younger the kids, the funnier the game. Players should sit in a circle. One player is the messenger and gives the whispers the message he vents to the player on the right. The message may not be written down or repeated. This player, in turn, whispers the message into the ear of the next person to his right. The play continues around the circle until the last player delivers the message to the person who has started the game. When it comes full circle, the first person recites the message he just received from the last player. You may be very surprised at the outcome. Imagine what happens to a story that travels around a whole school. Word games and nanograms can be played with everyone. There's no limit of the number of players you have, and here's how to play. Each player should have his or her own piece of paper, pen, and pencil. Have an egg timer handy. Pick a word that has a lot of letters in it. Each player should write down the word on his own sheet of paper. Turn over the timer and let the fun begin. Each player must make as many words from the original word as he can. You can change the rules to suit the age group. Younger children can have shorter words, while older children should try to make words of 4 letters or more. You can adjust scoring to be fair to the younger players. When the timer is finished, the game is over. Pick one player to read out the words he wrote down. If any other player has that word, each player who has it crosses out his list. You can only score points if you come up with the words that are no one else on their list. Scoring. Each 2-letter word equals 1 point. Each 3-letter word equals 2 points. Each 4-letter word equals 3 points, and so on. Pick a point value to play up to, and the first person to reach it wins. Oh, goodness. Alphabets. Alphabet is another fun word game. As with anagrams, all you need is a pen and piece of paper, each team member, and an egg timer. Any number of people can play. Find 10 categories that will be fun to play with. Here are some fun ones to try. Flower, name of girl, name of boy, book title, author, actor, actress. Car, tree, color, gemstone, state, country, capital, politician, relative, weather, body of water, mountain. Each player should write down the chosen category on his piece of paper. 1 category per line. Have a player pick a letter from the alphabet and then have each player write the letter at the top of the list. Turn the egg timer over and each player try to fill each category with a word beginning with the chosen letter. When the time is up, 1 player can read his word aloud. Each player who has the same word will cross it off the list. 1 point is scored for each word no one already has. For example, if the letter is B, you could do the following. Flower, buttercup. Name a boy, Brian. Name a girl, Betty. Country, Bosnia. Body of water, Baltic Sea. Weather, breezy. And so on. If you write down 2 words using the letter, you get 2 points. For example, relative, big brother, 2 points. Sentence by sentence. The object of the sentence by sentence is to build a complete story by adding a sentence to a series of sentences. The catch is that only the previous sentence is known to you, and the results are often silly, and the kids of all ages get giggling up a storm. All you need is a piece of paper, someone to write down a sentence as if he was starting a story. For example, the first person writes down it was nighttime when suddenly the lights went out. The next player receives the piece of paper from the first player and adds a sentence on the line right below the first sentence. Before giving the paper to the next player, however, he must cover the first sentence by folding the paper over, so only the second sentence is now visible. The first player, it was nighttime when suddenly the lights went out. The second player, Bob knew that meant the food in the fridge wouldn't last long. Now the third player only sees what the second player's sentence, so he adds a sentence based on that. The third player, with Aunt Mabel in the house, there was never enough food left for everyone else. and so on. No matter how your story ends up, it gets those brains whirling and imagination flying. Always a good game for some family laughs. A family of friends. So Thanksgiving is thought of as a holiday spent with family. However, these days it seems like Thanksgiving and family is getting harder to do. With families spread all over the country, sometimes the world, not everyone's able to make it home for the holiday. If you're someone with family or a friend who lives far away, you might want to consider gathering a group of, quote, strays to enjoy the holiday. Throw a party at your house, offering to make turkey, and ask everyone to bring a dish to pass. Either a bowl of cranberries, apple pie, or just a can of green beans. Whatever the guests have to offer, we can guarantee that a Thanksgiving with a group is a lot better than sitting at home eating popcorn in front of the football game. For those with both friends and family that's scattered across the holiday, and vacations can be a time of stress. Often family asks you to go one way, while friends beg you to go another. We know a group of friends who have tried to remedy this problem by making Thanksgiving their own special holiday with the blessing of their family. They have spent the last 5 years of Thanksgiving traveling to one home or another for a quality friend time and delicious vegetarian Thanksgiving meal. No matter how busy this year gets and how hard it might be to get together, this small group knows that at least around Thanksgiving they will have a chance to enjoy a good meal and reconnect with one another. A Thanksgiving memory book. If Thanksgiving is one time of the year you're able to gather your family and your friends, then it's the perfect time for a special family photo. Make an event of the family photo each year by gathering everyone together in the same spot at the same time. Maybe you'll want to pose after touch football or around the Thanksgiving table. Whatever you do, gather the pictures each year in a special Thanksgiving memory album or include them in pages of a back of a book. What fun it will be to bring out the album each year to see how the kids have grown and count the new additions. When putting the album together, add quotes or fun stories of the day. You could even include a list of what everyone was thankful for. It might be fun to look forward 10 years from now, or what everyone has said. The meaning of Thanksgiving. Many countries throughout the world have a harvest festival of some kind in North America. Thanksgiving is the most common autumn celebration, but what does it really mean, and how should you explain it to your children? 1. Explain the ancient origins of the harvest festival to your children. In ancient times, people of many cultures, including the ancient Greeks, Romans, Hebrews, Egyptians, and Chinese, gave thanks to their god or gods for a thankful, successful harvest. And some of the traditions associated with modern Thanksgiving celebrations have their rooted in these ancient festivals. 2. Discuss the roots of American Thanksgiving celebration in 1621. Near the end of the Plymouth colony's first year in America, the settlers gave thanks for a plentiful first harvest. The Pilgrims and the natives celebrated together, and everyone feasted on geese, duck, deer, corn, oysters, fish, and berries. 3. Discuss the Native American issues surrounding Thanksgiving. Despite the harmonious relations that may have existed between natives and pilgrims at the first Thanksgiving feast, many subsequent American Thanksgivings involved settlers giving thanks for the victories over the natives. Ask your children how they feel about this and discuss the recent efforts that have been made by the American government and people to apologize for the past discrimination and violations or violence. I don't have my glasses on and I apologize. 4. Explain why and when. Thanksgiving became an official holiday in 1863 during the Civil War. President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed that Thanksgiving should be a national observance. To some degree, this was a way to brighten the spirits of the American people who were dealing with a great deal of difficulty and deprivation. Number 5. Explain that one aspect of Thanksgiving involves gratitude for having enough food to eat. Encourage your children to help you buy groceries for the food bank or make a donation to the local soup kitchen. 6. Talk turkey. The wild turkey is native to the eastern states and northern Mexico. And while it probably wasn't served at the first Thanksgiving feast, it was it has become a symbol of the holiday. 7. Offer your children some relevant books. Many books that discuss Thanksgiving tradition from a variety of different perspectives are available for readers of all ages. And lastly, let your children help with the preparations of your Thanksgiving meal. Encourage them to make appropriate decorative, and this gives you the opportunity to discuss the symbolism of many objects associated with Thanksgiving and to share the family traditions with them as you prepare the feast together. And then it shows in this book how you can write down your many traditions and Thanksgiving memories you want to share with generations to come. And it's kind of nice, but we're not going to do that in this book. I'm going to give it to my niece to take, and I don't know what she'll do with it, but I'm sure that she will appreciate it. I'm going to try and get my family to do a Thanksgiving, what they're grateful for around the table, and we'll see this year. We'll just see if we get it done on my YouTube channel. Happy and safe Thanksgiving to each and every one of my viewers. I hope most of all, you know, I'm thankful for you. You watch my videos, and I hope they bring you joy and happiness, peace and comfort when you have times of sorrow, and when you need a listening ear to help you through any situation. I hope that I can do that for you. So I will see you again soon, probably with some more books. But that's all that I'm going to share from this book of Thanksgiving. Take care, and happy Thanksgiving.